And here it is, guys, the A7S III. Now, does it really live up to the hype that everyone is talking about? Short answer, absolutely. And if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Anastasio. I do a lot of drone tech tips, tutorials, and product reviews right here on this channel. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing and also hitting that bell to be notified when I post new videos. Now, I'm a big advocate of not worrying about gear too much, as the gear doesn't really make the creator. Now, the ability to bring those ideas to life in a creative way. Now, everyone is very different. These are merely tools of the trade, whether you're talking about cameras like this or also the drones I normally talk about. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the A7S III, I'm gonna leave all of the specs down below in the video description. And a little bit about my history with some of the Sony cameras. I'm actually shooting here with the A7 III. I had the A6400. I also have the A6600 here. Sony, I think, is one of the companies that is sitting down with their users, trying to understand the best approach and the best things that we need as content creators. And I think this is the culmination of that. Now, of course, everyone has their different types of use cases for how they plan on using their gear. If you guys are familiar with my channel, I do a lot of drone and tech reviews. So for me, this is what it's gonna be used for, doing things like this, whether it's gonna be out in the field, doing some talking head stuff, doing some product shots, product reviews, doing a lot of B-roll when I'm talking about some of the drone stuff while I'm in the field. And of course, using it on a day-to-day basis, whether it's for the channel or also with my family. And also I'll leave a bunch of links to some of my other content creator friends that have a bunch of videos on the A7S III that might go into more detail about, profiles, cinematic footage, and things like that. So those are the things I'm not gonna cover in this video. For me, I focus a lot more about the user experience of the gear I use. So after using it for the past week now, I just wanna talk to you about some of those features of the A7S III that really added a lot of value to my process and to my production, and more importantly, saved a lot of time, especially me being a solo creator. And shout out to Sony for lending me this A7S III to test out while mine is in transit right now. I should be getting my body this week. So thanks to Sony for letting me this to test out before mine gets here. So let's jump right into it and let's talk about some of the things that I've really enjoyed about the new body on the A7 III, comparing that also with the A7 III and here the A6600. And we'll start here at the very top. One of the things I really like about this new camera is that dedicated record button here. On some of the previous models, you would have a really small record button that's kind of tucked in there where the thumb was. But here you have a really nice large record button, of course, and then you have the shutter right here for photos. Next thing we have here is a lockable mode dial. So if you are shooting video or shooting in manual, you have to press in that little button here up top, turn it, and then lock it just like that so that you don't accidentally twist this while you're out there shooting. Now, even coming from the A7 III body, this one is a lot beefier, so it does feel nice in the hands with this deep grip right here on the inside. Another big enhancement right here is these flip doors. So each one of the ports, we have the headphone jack, we have the microphone, also USB-C multi, and here, which is even more important, HDMI, full HDMI out right here on the side. But each one of those ports has a flip door that can close. Some of the other cameras just had the door would flop open and kind of dangle there and not only make noise, but it would pretty much almost feel like it's gonna snap off. And of course, one of the biggest features of the new A7S III is that flip out screen. They're able to tilt just like that. So if you wanted to see yourself while you're out there vlogging, you can now do it with this flip out screen. A lot different than the A6600 here, which has a screen that flips out up top. And also the A6600 just had that weird hinge going on here at the very back. And plus, if you had a microphone, the hot shoe is here up top. So of course, if you had a mic up top, you're gonna be blocking your screen. Small rig, of course, like I have here, has that side mount, but just another piece that you're gonna have to add onto your camera if you wanted to be able to use something like an external microphone and the screen at the same time. Here on the A7S III, you have that flip out screen, and now you're able to use a microphone here up top, so you are able to get the best of both worlds by a mic here up top that's not blocked off, and then you have your screen here on the side. And speaking of microphones, this one right here, which is Sony's digital microphone, the ECM B1M microphone, which connects right here to the very top of the hot shoe. I was not able to use this mic on something like the A7 III or even on the A6600. You do not have a digital signal with this mic or with those cameras. Here we do have a full digital signal that goes straight through the microphone, so you do not have to have a cable that goes around to the side. Everything is nice and clean. I've been really liking this microphone, mainly because of that reason. It's a nice clean setup. You have full controls here on the back. And if you did want to use this mic on something like the other cameras, you can switch it down here to analog mode. But here on the A7S III, full digital, and you have full control of your audio levels here on the back. The next thing about the camera that I've been enjoying, probably the absolute most of all the features, is 4K at 120. And it's not even just the fact that you could shoot 4K at 120. I know a lot of people will probably say, why do you even need 4K at this point? But the thing is, I shoot 4K on pretty much most of my stuff. My talking head stuff here is 4K, and whenever I have to do any B-roll, I will normally have to always shoot it in 1080p and upscale it to 4K. So what I really like about it is that not only is my talking head 4K, but also my B-roll can match and also be 4K and not an upscaled 1080p video. Now, even after looking at my analytics on my YouTube page, I know a lot of people are still watching my channel on something like their mobile device, so 1080p of course is going to be the standard that most people will still watch it in. But what's really nice about this one is the fact that you can still shoot 4K 120 and it'll still record audio, which is something I've really enjoyed, because you now can technically just shoot 120 with almost everything, because you will still have audio, but you also have the ability now to slow it down. All right, so the one good thing about shooting 4K 120 is that at any point, if you wanted to slow the video down, so we're shooting 4K 120, and if I want to slow down my motion on my throw, then at least I'm able to have the option to slow that footage down. And sticking on the same topic, I did not expect this one, which is you're able to shoot 4K 120 and still have face and eye detection on. On my previous Sonys, you weren't able to have face or eye detection on once you went into 1080p at 120. Now here we have 4K 120, you have face detection, you have eye detection, all at those high frame rates. And still sticking on the 4K 120, something I'm excited about is the fact that you now have face and eye auto detect on HDMI out. And the great thing is there's a full HDMI port here, but now you can actually still have auto detect face and eye with 4K, shooting 4K 120 422 10-bit with the HDMI out. And this is actually one of my older Field World monitors, but you still have eye tracking plugged into your HDMI out. And the next thing I really like about this camera is that it has a full USB-C port right here on the side. You can use it for multiple things. If you wanted to keep continuous charge on your battery, nice that you can actually power it off a power bank. You can plug it into the wall. So if you want to do it for live streaming like this, or just have this thing posted up for a while, you're able to use an external battery pack, or here, use it through USB-C and plugged into the wall. Now, next thing I've really enjoyed is the new menu system on the A7S III. Now, it is still pretty cluttered. There's still a lot of information on here, but as far as navigating through the menu items, it definitely is a lot more intuitive compared to the last system, which they had here on the 6600, the A7 III, and pretty much all the other Sony cameras. They introduced this new menu system here on the A7S III. And the one thing that's nice about this flip screen and touch screen is that you can change the menu system with touch now. You weren't able to do that on the previous cameras, the 6600 or the A7 III. And this last feature that I've really enjoyed is this right here. I was able to pick up one of these new CFexpress cards, and I gotta say, this thing is so fast. I actually just posted something to my Instagram stories, so if you guys aren't following me, make sure you guys follow me there. I'll put that information down below. But I was able to test out the CFexpress card, and as far as buffer goes, I think I triggered off about 400 to 500 shots. Okay, we're still going. We're still going. I'm gonna let this go until the buffer hits, and it hasn't hit yet. I have a feeling we might clear the card. If we do, that's gonna be insane, but we're still going. Raw to the card. Here we go, ready, and it's still going. It hasn't even hit buffer yet, but I'm gonna let go. Check this out. And there it is. No buffering. So yeah, these cards are super expensive, but highly worth it. Mainly because I sometimes would find myself in situations where I would like to shoot video and photo, and sometimes I'll shoot a bunch of photos and then want to switch really quick over to video and start recording video. but then I would have to wait for my buffer on my photos to catch up. So that happened multiple times on both the A6600 and the A7 III, but with the new CFexpress card, it is blazing fast. And there it is, guys, just a bunch of new features on the A7S III that I've probably enjoyed the most. Like I said before, I'm actually more excited about the user experience enhancements. I think a lot of these things that they've changed on it are a lot of things that we've been wishing for on some of the previous cameras. So I'm glad they're including it now into the A7S III. As always, guys, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. And also, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. This is Aljon Stasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.